Have you ever gotten fully dressed, checked the mirror, and thought, this looks fine, but something's a little off, and you couldn't say what? You didn't do anything wrong. Most of what makes an outfit look finished or unfinished has nothing to do with what you're wearing and everything to do with 6 small, completely free details most of us just never learn to check. No new clothes, no shopping trip. Just 6 specific things you can fix in the next 10 minutes, standing right where you are. By the end of this video, you'll never look at your closet the same way again because you'll finally know exactly what your eye has been catching without being able to name it. Think about the last time you saw a woman walk into a room and just look right, put together in a way you couldn't quite explain. It probably wasn't one big thing, it was several small ones, all handled. That's genuinely all this video is, the specific things she handled. Welcome back to Melanin Care. Before we start, a quick promise. No confusing fashion vocabulary in this video. Nothing you need a stylist to translate for you. Every single fix here is something you can understand in one sentence and do in under a minute. Looking put together after 50 isn't about spending more or dressing younger. It's about a handful of small, specific details that either say, I got dressed on purpose, or say, I just put on clothes. Today, we're covering the 6 that make that difference and exactly why each one works the way it does. And none of these require a different body, a smaller size, or a bigger budget. They require about 10 minutes total and a little bit of attention. I picked these 6 specifically because they're the ones that come up over and over across every body type, every budget, and every closet I've ever helped sort through. Let's start with the one that costs absolutely nothing and takes 60 seconds. Quick ask before we get into it. If you're new here, hit subscribe and tap the bell. We break down real, understandable style and skincare guidance for Black women over 50 every single week. Okay. Fix number 1. Quick science moment before we get into the list, because this explains why these tiny things matter so much more than people expect. Your brain doesn't evaluate an outfit piece by piece. It takes 1 or 2 quick signals and uses them to fill in a judgment about everything else, almost instantly. Psychologists call this thin slicing. If the first thing your brain catches is a crisp, well-pressed shirt, it quietly assumes the rest of the outfit was equally considered, even before it's actually looked closely. If the first thing it catches is a wrinkle, a scuffed shoe, or mismatched metal, it generalizes that same impression across everything else, even things that were genuinely done right. This is exactly why 6 small specific fixes can change how an entire outfit reads without changing a single piece of clothing itself. You're not fooling anyone, you're simply controlling which signal the brain catches first. This works the other direction too, by the way. Once your brain locks on to one strong positive signal, a genuinely great pair of shoes, perfectly matched metals, it becomes more forgiving of everything else. Which is honestly good news. You don't need every single detail perfect. You need enough of the right ones handled that the overall impression lands where you want it to. Fix number 1. Wrinkled fabric. Number 1, and it's the one nobody mentions because it feels too basic to matter, wrinkled fabric. Here's the actual reason this matters more than people think. Light bounces off a flat, smooth surface in one clean direction, which is what gives fabric that crisp, polished look in photos and in person. Wrinkled fabric scatters that same light in a dozen directions at once, which reads to the eye as tired, even if the outfit itself is beautiful and brand new. You can be wearing the most expensive dress in your closet, and if it came straight out of a drawer with creases across it, it will still read as thrown together. The fix is genuinely 5 minutes with a handheld steamer, which is far gentler and faster than an iron, and works on almost any fabric without the risk of scorching it. Focus on the areas that actually show: the chest, the shoulders, right below the collar, the front of the sleeves. You don't need a garment perfectly flat everywhere. You need the parts a camera or a person's eye actually lands on first. If you own one styling tool, before jewelry, before anything else on this list, a small handheld steamer earns its place. It is genuinely the single fastest fix on this entire list, and most people skip it simply because it doesn't feel like styling. It is. Quick way to check yourself: hold your arm out straight in front of you under a bright light and look at the sleeve. If you can see shadow lines across the fabric, so can everyone else, even if you genuinely can't spot it in a dim bathroom mirror. And if you travel or don't want to invest in a steamer right now, even hanging a wrinkled piece in the bathroom while you shower works surprisingly well, since steam from the shower does almost the same job. Fix number 2. Mismatched metals happening by accident instead of on purpose. Look down right now at what you're wearing: gold earrings, a silver watch, a gold ring, a bag with silver hardware. If that combination wasn't a deliberate choice, it reads as one anyway, and not in a good way. It reads as though you got dressed without checking the details against each other, because your eye and everyone else's eye genuinely does register metal tone, even if it can't always say why something looks slightly off. The fix costs nothing if you already own pieces in both metals. You're simply choosing one to wear that day instead of grabbing whatever's closest. Pick your dominant metal for the day, gold or silver, and let every visible piece follow it: earrings, watch, rings, belt buckle, glasses frame if you wear them, bag hardware. If you genuinely love a piece in the other metal, that's fine. Wear one single exception on purpose, which reads completely differently from 3 accidental mismatches happening at once. This is one of those details that, once you start noticing it on other people, you will never stop noticing, and once you start controlling it on yourself, people will start describing you as put together without being able to say exactly why. A simple habit that makes this automatic: keep your gold pieces in one small dish and your silver in another, right next to each other. When you're rushed in the morning, grabbing from one dish instead of digging through a single mixed pile takes the decision out of it entirely. This applies to your glasses, too, if you wear them. A gold-rimmed frame with silver jewelry is one of the most common accidental mismatches, and one of the easiest to fix once you're actually looking for it. Fix number 3. And we've touched on this before on this channel because it matters that much: what's underneath your clothes. A bra that's the wrong size, even by one size, changes how every single thing on top of it hangs, sits, and photographs. Straps that dig in create visible ridges under fabric. A band that's ridden up changes your entire silhouette. This is not about vanity, it's about structure, the same way a house needs a proper foundation before anyone worries about the paint color. Most women are wearing a size that changed years ago without ever going back for a proper fitting, and that one gap quietly undermines everything you put on top of it, no matter how well chosen the outfit itself is. The fix is a professional fitting, which most department stores and specialty shops offer for free, ideally once a year, because your size does shift over time, and that's completely normal, not something to feel any type of way about. 5 minutes with a professional fitting professional changes how every single piece you already own fits and photographs without spending $1 on anything new. One sign it's time for a refit, even without an appointment: if you're regularly adjusting or tugging at something underneath your clothes throughout the day, that's your body telling you the fit changed, and ignoring it doesn't just cost comfort, it costs how the rest of the outfit sits. And this isn't a one-time fix either. Bodies change gradually over years, sometimes without us fully noticing month to month, which is exactly why an annual check makes sense, even if nothing feels dramatically different. Fix number 4. Adding one piece with real texture, not just color. A lot of us build outfits entirely out of smooth, flat fabrics, cotton, jersey, a smooth blazer, and the whole look ends up feeling a little one note, even when the colors are genuinely beautiful together. Texture is what gives an outfit visual depth, the same way a photograph with some shadow and light feels more interesting than one that's completely flat and evenly lit. This doesn't require buying anything new either. Most closets already have at least one textured piece sitting unused: a chunky knit scarf, a woven straw bag, a piece with visible embroidery, a textured tweed blazer. The fix is simply remembering it exists and reaching for it instead of the smooth, safe option you default to. One textured piece is enough. You're not trying to layer 3 different textures at once. You're trying to give the eye one place to actually stop and register interest instead of skimming across a flat surface with nothing to catch on to. If you're not sure what counts, run your hand over the piece. If it feels distinctly different from everything else you're wearing, ribbed, woven, nubby, that's texture, and that's exactly the kind of contrast that gives an outfit dimension instead of flatness. Texture also does something practical that pure color can't. It creates its own natural shadow and highlight, even when the lighting around you is flat and unflattering. Number 5. A shoe that's visibly worn down, scuffed at the toe, worn thin at the heel, even if it's still your favorite and still comfortable. This is the one detail people notice without consciously noticing, because shoes are one of the first things the eye checks, even subconsciously when reading whether someone takes care of themselves. A genuinely great outfit can be undercut entirely by a shoe that looks tired, because it suggests neglect in a way that contradicts everything else you got right. The fix isn't necessarily buying new shoes constantly. A scuffed toe can often be restored with a simple leather conditioner or polish in the matching color. Worn heels can usually be repaired cheaply at any shoe repair shop rather than replaced entirely. And it's worth doing before a shoe gets bad enough that repair isn't an option anymore. Check the 2 or 3 pairs you actually wear most, not the ones sitting untouched in your closet, and give them the 5 minutes of care they've probably been needing for a while. Well-maintained shoes signal the same thing a fresh iron does, that you decided how you look, rather than just accepting whatever state things happened to be in that morning. A 2-minute test. Look at your shoe from the side, not straight down, since that's the angle most wear actually shows. If the heel edge looks rounded or uneven instead of crisp, that's usually the first sign it needs attention before anyone consciously notices it. Keep a small tin of neutral shoe polish and a soft cloth somewhere easy to grab, by the door or in a drawer near where you keep your shoes, so the fix takes less time than finding the tin would if it were buried somewhere in the back of a closet. Number 6, and this one's a genuine bonus because it costs nothing and takes 10 seconds, the exit check. Most of us check the mirror straight on, from the front, and then walk out the door. But almost nobody looks at themselves from behind or from the side before leaving, which means the back of a wrinkled skirt, a slip showing at the hem, or a tag sticking out goes completely unnoticed until someone else points it out, or worse, nobody does. Before you leave the house, take 10 seconds to turn fully around in front of a mirror, checking the back and both sides, not just the front. It sounds almost too simple to mention, but it catches the exact kind of thing that undoes an otherwise perfect outfit, and it's the fastest fix on this entire list. It also catches the practical things nobody wants to think about: a stain you didn't notice, a button that's come loose, a hem that's started to fall. 10 seconds now saves you from finding out about any of it secondhand, hours later from someone else. So there you have it, 6 fixes, and notice that not one of them required a shopping trip: a steamer, matching your metals, checking your fit, one textured piece, shoes that are actually cared for, and one 10-second turn in front of a mirror. None of these are about spending more money or chasing a trend. They're about the specific small decisions that separate an outfit that just happened from one that was actually chosen. If you take away one thing from this video, let it be this. Looking put together after 50 was never about buying more. It's about paying attention to the details that were already sitting in your closet the entire time. Pick the one from this list that felt the most relevant to you, the one where you thought, oh, that's actually me, and fix just that one this week. The rest can follow at your own pace. None of this happened because you did anything wrong. Nobody ever sits you down and teaches you to check for these things. Now you know, and that's really all it takes. 6 small checks, and every single one of them was already available to you before you even clicked on this video. That's genuinely the whole point of a list like this. Nothing here was ever missing from your closet. It was just never pointed out clearly all in one place until now. If this gave you something real to work with today, hit subscribe. We're building honest, understandable style and skincare guidance for Black women over 50 every single week, and there's a lot more coming. I'll see you in the next one.